What's good, guys? Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin and see if Bitcoin is still on track to hit my price target at $125,000. A quick look at the fear and greed index for the general market sentiment, and at the moment we are sitting at 36 on the index scale. So this shows there's still some fear in the market. But is this fear warranted? Well, let's find out in Bitcoin's chart. Let's look at Bitcoin from the higher time frame to the lower time frame. We are currently looking at the monthly chart, and from the monthly chart we see that the candle for this month is still trading above the previous month's candle. So this is highly bullish for Bitcoin. It shows that the bullish trend, this bullish trend that carried us from $28,000 has not been broken yet. So this is good for Bitcoin. Let's look at the monthly RSI. And from the RSI chart, we see that the RSI, the monthly RSI is currently at 72. And then it is not yet close to 90. When the RSI hits 90, that is when we usually get the big reversals or the big drop in price for Bitcoin. So this is highly bullish. It shows that there's still more room for Bitcoin to run. Let's look at the MACD, the moving average convergence and divergence. And at the moment, we see that the MACD line is still bullish, right? It has not yet crossed the signal line. So this is good. It shows that Bitcoin, the momentum has not been broken yet. So Bitcoin's momentum will probably continue. Now let's look at the squeeze momentum. From the MACD also, even though this looks high, this was kind of like an issue for me as well. But even though this looks high, the MACD is unbounded. It has no bounds, right? So there's nothing to worry about. The same thing for the squeeze momentum. The squeeze momentum has no bounds. So this thing could keep going high and high as long as it doesn't turn bearish, right? So there's nothing to worry about over here as well. So let's look at the weekly chart now. So just like we saw in the monthly chart, the weekly chart is also looking bullish. This week's candle is still trading above the previous week's candle. So this is highly bullish still. Let's look at the RSI really quick. The RSI, the weekly RSI is still bullish, right? The trend is still pointing up, right? So this is still good for Bitcoin. Let's look at the MACD. The MACD is still bullish. We have not yet crossed the signal line. So this is still bullish, right? This blue line has not yet crossed the orange line, right? So this is still bullish for Bitcoin. Let's look at the squeeze momentum really quick as well. The squeeze momentum is also bullish. We are not yet going through a squeeze yet, right? So this is still bullish for Bitcoin. Now let's quickly look at the daily chart. From the daily chart, things are a little bit concerning. Just from the price action alone, we see that Bitcoin is struggling to break above $63,000 and hold above $63,000 and push higher, right? So this is a little bit bearish for Bitcoin in the short term. We are on the daily chart, so I'm only talking short term from this time frame, right? So let's look at the RSI. And from the RSI, we see that even though Bitcoin has not yet broken this upward trend over here on the RSI, things are a little bit bearish over here, right? Bitcoin, the RSI for Bitcoin on the daily went as high about 78, and then we fell, and there's a possibility this the RSI could head lower, right? But let's look at the other indicators to confirm as well. So from the MACD, we see that the MACD line, this blue line, has broken below the signal line, right? So this is a little bit bearish for Bitcoin. It shows that we are losing momentum, at least in the short term, right? So like I said, in the weekly and monthly chart, the RSI is bullish in those time frames, but in the daily, things are looking a little bit bearish. From the squeeze momentum, we see that this is confirming the loss of momentum in the MACD, right? We are getting some red bars over here showing that we are losing momentum in the short term. This is the daily chart, so only in the short term. Let's go back to the chart. Let me turn on my drawings, and we see that the price is trading in this ascending wedge pattern, right? So this pattern over here, this is usually a bullish indicator. This is usually a bearish indicator. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback, right? I expect Bitcoin's price to pull back to the $58,000, 700, yeah, or let's say $59,000, right? for the price, this price line. I expect Bitcoin to pull back to this price line. And this price line is actually also in confluence with the 0.5 on the Fibonacci extension, right? So on my Fibonacci extension that I've drawn on the chart, I expect Bitcoin to pull back to that price level at $58,700. So is the price of Bitcoin still going to $125,000? In my opinion, yes. From the chart, I have this trend-based Fibonacci extension drawn from the lows in March 2020 to the highs in April 2021, and then the retracement lows in July 2021. And using that, I'm able to get a price projection for Bitcoin for this bull run. So in this bull run, I do see Bitcoin going to touch my price target at about $125,000, and this is the 1.618 Fibonacci level. So I definitely see Bitcoin going to $125,000 as long as Bitcoin stays bullish. It continues to look bullish in the weekly chart and the monthly chart. So in the short term, I would say there's an 80% chance the price of Bitcoin pulls back to $59,000 and then bounce right after that. That's only in the short term. In the long term, there's a high chance the price of Bitcoin go touch $125,000. Now make sure to help a brother out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. My name is Seth and I make crypto content. So if making more money with cryptos is something that you are interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And let me know what other coin you'd like me to cover in the comment section.